one of the reasons why we came here to Wausau. That's Rib Mountain, and we will be exploring that more in detail a little bit later on. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. Well, I'm in Rib Mountain State Park. Get more into details on that a little bit later. But that was the mountain that we saw from the road, that big long stretch of hillside. Technically not a mountain. It's a little too short for that. It may have been a mountain at one time and eroded down the way that the mountains did in the Keweenaw. I'm not entirely sure of the geological history of this place, but I will find out. Here we go. Here's some of the quartzite that those signs were describing. The difference in color, the white or the pink, has to do with the minerals found in it and the chemicals that make up those minerals. But the entire mountain is made out of this. And a few other rocks. But all these rocks that you see, these big boulders around me, they are all made up of this quartzite. I was passing through the Wausau area, say about 4 months ago, and I decided, you know, what the heck, let's go to Rib Mountain. People talk about it. I never get up here, so what could it hurt? It hurt absolutely nothing. In fact, when I came to Rib Mountain, I realized that, now this is my opinion, this must be the most beautiful place in the state, and I stick to it. And I came across the place, ended up being my picnic grounds, but it was the place that we walked up to just a second ago. There's a nice little overlook here, and you'll see it in a second. It smells like pines and cedars. It reminds me of Ontario and also of Colorado. There's a pretty vocal bird in the background, and Rib Mountain is covered in 3 different kinds of birch. Now those I can identify. Maybe not other trees, but birch, I can pick those guys out. There's gray birch, yellow birch, and paper birch that live up here. And it was all quite an exciting find for an amateur tree person like myself. But it was more than birch, and it was more than the smell of pines and cedars. It was more than the quartzite that I'm sitting on. It was the whole package. I mean, this place is stunning, and you'll see some footage of it as we go along. And you may agree, you may disagree, I really don't care. But I did want to share my favorite spot in the state of Wisconsin with you. The place that if I could, I'd be here every weekend. This is where we had been sitting. Right up there on that rock. I love conifers, but birch are my friends. Totally different relationship. That sounds really kind of strange, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm surrounded by birch. This whole part of Wisconsin is big birch territory. We're in the north central part of the state, and you can have mile after mile after mile of different kinds of birch trees. So I guess you might say I'm surrounded by friends. That's pretty good. I think it's an old friendship. I don't think it's anything that I cooked up recently. I mean, I think it's a very old, long-standing friendship. And I'm fine with that. I don't know. To me, birch, they're kind of individuals. They're not straight and rigid and guardian-like as conifers can be. These guys, these birch, they just kind of seem to do their own thing. I respect that. Shh. Nature. Rib Mountain, like a lot of places, is pretty difficult to hike in. And I'm not talking about, there are alligators that jump out from behind a rock and get you. No, in this case you're surrounded 360 degrees by amazing things, truly stunning things to look at. And the path is uneven. There are paths here, and they're taken care of rather well, but they're rocky. And look at this place, the whole area is rocky, you can't get away from it. And I haven't tripped, knock on wood, but it's just very difficult to keep looking up at the beautiful things, look down at the beautiful things, as well as everything around you. Wow, you have to be good at multitasking to come here to get the good picture. Gratuitous product placement. Hey, check these guys out. These will one day become pine cones. And one day those pine cones will become this gigantic tree, which I still cannot identify, but it's green. Sometimes you're just hiking along, trying not to trip on rocks. You come out to a pretty amazing place. Well, it's time to head out. Time to say cheerio to Rib Mountain and Wausau, but I'm gonna dump off my trash bag first. And next stop, somewhere south.